Today's show is brought to you by Link. Link helps level up your lawn care business with expert advice and support. Details are in the show notes.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no-nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton, here hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, guys, today's podcast episode, I wanted to talk about the misnomer that word of mouth marketing is the best form of marketing. I'm not going to really try to break the internet today or anything like that. I don't really kind of set out for that quest anyway. But the reason is a lot of us are looking to grow our business, and you hear things all the time. And one thing that I really do enjoy, ironically enough, the little bit more of the Jordan Peterson approach of being a contrarian is kind of dispelling myths or truths or lies or just garbage content or garbage advice or what the gurus continue to point out or put out. One of the things that you'll hear forever is that word of mouth marketing is the best form of advertising and the best form of marketing. Well, yes and no, right? Let's break this down for just a quick second on today's podcast episode. If I was looking to grow my business and I had a certain revenue goal in mind, and let's say it's a $100,000 a year business and my product offering is $10,000, I would need 10 customers to get to my goal. Let's say I get 4 customers through my current marketing and advertising, $40,000. I'm almost halfway to my goal. Well, no problem. I'll just sit on my eggs and wait for my customers to refer me to grow my business. And an absolute form of word of mouth marketing is the best form of marketing. Okay, well, 4 of my customers that are out there, they're raving fans. Let's say they all bat 1,000. They all love our experience. Well, we're just going to sit around here and wait for them to refer their friends, family, neighbors, colleagues, and peers, right? Well, any day now, I should be able to hit my revenue goal for a year. It's January, cool, awesome. February, cool, awesome. Got those 4 customers done, completed, 6 sold a product to, whatever. March, April, May, nothing. June, July, August, nothing. Well, word of mouth marketing is the best form of marketing, right? And obviously being a little bit facetious here, but you guys can imagine, let's say those 4 customers out there turn into 1 referral, and now I hit 5 customers, 50,000, my 100,000 revenue goal, and pick your number. It could be $1 million, $2 million, $10 million, $5 million, doesn't matter. Same philosophy applies. But if somebody said, well, word of mouth marketing is the best form of marketing, well, if that means to convert to get new customers, I feel like that's actually terrible advice, because all I'm doing is sitting around all day waiting for these customers to get me more customers. So it's one of those deals where, you guys ever heard the line, I think it was one of the dudes from who was a Nazi propagandist back in the day. He said, a lie repeated enough eventually becomes truth, or a lie repeated often enough eventually becomes accepted, right? And so how many things in guru land, with all the amazing folks that are podcasters and gurus and people who've got a course or a group and all this mess to sign up with, that still, frankly, have no idea what they're talking about. Genuinely. I've been doing this for 25 years with combined experience, millions of dollars in business, not the biggest business guru by any means, but we've been there, done that. I've paid my bills with being self-employed for the better part of 20 plus years now. And that kind of advice is still out there. It still circles. I literally saw it as a reel just the other day. And I'm like, that's wrong. That's terrible advice. And of course, it's 2 bros in a podcast room probably talking to themselves. But, they make some short form content and they're gurus. And I'm sure they got a course or a product to sell after, right? And so hearing that exclusively, you would think, well, okay, I need to get my customers to refer more customers. Well, let's go through a little exercise I did with Chat GPT. This is just a fun little iteration that I did. I said, Chat, give me 5 reasons why word of mouth marketing is not the best way of marketing. And let's go through this really quick. It said, number 1, limited reach. Word of mouth marketing depends on personal networks, which can be small and localized. It doesn't scale effectively compared to the other methods like digital advertising or social media campaigns that can reach thousands or millions of people instantly. Yeah, for sure. If you're waiting for word of mouth marketing, like each one reach one, or you tell one and one tells 10 and 10 tell 10, that's 1,100 people. Yeah, that's cool. But I can make an Instagram post or a reel that goes viral on TikTok or Instagram, and it can reach 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 1 million, and maybe it goes viral to 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 20 million people, right? So word of mouth marketing versus maybe amplification on social media or even paid advertising to get a boosted, reach. Interesting conversation there, right? Number 2, uncontrollable messaging. You can't fully control what people have to say about your business. Positive experiences might not always be shared, and if a customer had a bad experience, they might spread negative feedback instead. Well, somebody who says word of mouth marketing is the best form of marketing. Well, what if they had a bad customer experience? Or what if their experience was average, right? Like you thought you did a 10 on their mobile detail cleaning their car, but the customer's like, they did a good 7. And now they say, hey, their neighbor comes over and says, hey, I saw a mobile detail van. How'd they do? And they go, they cleaned the car, but it was a solid 7. Well, now that customer just had an impression that your business is a 7 out of 10. So even though you think you did a good job and you completed the job or task or sold a product or service, now the word of marketing that's going out there is less than ideal. I don't want a bunch of 7s. I don't want a bunch of 7 customer experiences. I don't want a bunch of 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 star reviews. I want 5 out of 5 star reviews, right? So uncontrollable messaging, right? Number 3, slow growth. Building a customer base through word of mouth alone can be a slow process. It relies on satisfied customers sharing their experiences, which might not happen consistently or at a pace needed to grow your business, right? This is a really, really good one. They say the average customer has a positive experience tells 1 person. The average customer that has a negative experience tells 10 people. And I know that because when I used to work at Little Caesars, we got hammered on this customer experience like you wouldn't believe. The buy off was always a bag of breadsticks. At the time, it was something like 22 cents for a bag of breadsticks that cost $2.11 out the door with breadsticks and sauce, right? Our upsell breadstick percentage rate was like 55% because it was the highest margin product that they made at Little Caesars. It was 22 cents. We sold it for $2.11. A pizza at the time was $1.81. We had $5.30 out the door. So when you talk about like actual margin, breadsticks were killing it. There was nothing else that we could sell. I think other than like upselling certain vegetables or something like that. But I was a nut job with looking at the profitability of my store because I got bonused on my cost, my controllables, right? And it was always around 62% controllables, whatever, 37% gross margin. Our store always netted 10 to 20%. And I got bonused off of that. And I got a multiplier, 1.5x multiplier on sales being up year over year. So I knew that if I could control the customer experience, keep folks coming back, buy off any negative experiences. Also, if you got a couple of complaints, they would like cancel out your multiplier, right? If you failed a security audit, you would fail your bonus, if you will. Like they had a bunch of these little stipulations. So we always passed the security audits. We always had like great numbers. And anytime there's a bad experience, I told all my team, my staff, I said, give people a free bag of breadstick. It costs us $0.25 to make a good customer experience. If not, right, think the inverse. If not, think about the inverse. If they had a bad experience, we're going to go tell 13 people that our local store sucks. In a local town, word spreads fast. And this is way before Google or Yelp, right? This is like 10, 15, 20 years ago stuff. So you have to make sure that you're controlling the customer experience and their messaging out there. Well, it's hard to measure the effect of word of mouth because you don't know who's happy. You don't know who's upset, right? Because happy people don't explain and share their experience, right? When you have a good experience, you're not going to leave a 5-star Google review. When you have a bad experience, you're going to be prompted to leave a 1-star review. It's just the nature of us as human beings. It is what it is. I didn't make it up. It's just probably the nature at work. It is what it is. Okay. Number 5, lack of predictability. Word of mouth marketing is unpredictable and inconsistent. It may work well for a while, then slow down without warning, leaving you without a steady flow of new customers. This lack of reliability makes it hard to plan long-term business strategy growth. So at the end of the day, you can't tell when people are going to be happy about your business or negative about your business, right? Think about you're an auto detail or auto mechanic repair shop. You just fixed somebody's brakes. There's $400 out the door. They had a good experience. They go home that evening. Their brother comes over and sister-in-law. They're having dinner. There's all 6-8 of you with the kids. You guys are having a good dinner. No conversation comes up about the brake job that you had completed earlier that afternoon when you guys picked up the wife's car. Well, 6 months later, the same brother and sister-in-law come over and they say, man, our brakes are squealing. When they pulled into the driveway, you need to get that checked out. They say, oh, Tom's repair shop down the road did a great job. You should go check them out. We had a great experience 6 months ago. Okay, like you can't control when brakes are going to squeal, when customers are going to squeal about how the brake job went in a good way, right? Squeal in a good way. So it's uncontrollable. So, you take these guru comments and these guru statements out there that word of mouth marketing is the best form of marketing. No, it's not, because you're relying on all these different external factors that you can't control, right? So if you're just looking to grow your business and you're like, well, and your dad says the best form of marketing is word of mouth. He's not wrong in terms of maybe like a brand evangelist, somebody who's loving what you do, right? Like you can't beat the heart of a volunteer, they always say. Like if World War III happened, I would volunteer knowing that I would want to be at the front line, not hanging out with the draftees, right? Because I'm going to go get high on my own supply with the guys who wanted to enlist. I don't want to be there with the rank and file, guys that are deserters, right? And so you want to double down with your evangelist. You want to double down with the pure-hearted folks that love your business. But that's just like one strategy, because again, I'm not going to wait for my current customers to get me to my revenue goal. And that's when you have to be more concerned about outbound marketing, websites, marketing, SEO, postcards, boosted ads, and so much more. So again, we have 750 plus podcast episodes where we talk about all the above. But just in case, sometimes it's not always like you got to learn new things. Sometimes you got to unlearn, right? Sometimes you got to unlearn what you've heard before. And more people putting out more content, noise destroys, right? It's just more stuff that you have to sift through and distill down to see what the heck is actually practical, good advice out there. This is one that I would say, hey, like put it on the back burner, because although you'll take everything you can get from your word of mouth and your customers and referrals, and by the way, they can be very, very good. Like one lady who's an office manager, she probably has a peer group of other HR and office managers. She might know more people around town. So like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. What I'm saying, that could be a critical relationship, and that could be very critical to your business growth is referrals. But just because she's an office manager doesn't mean all of her friends are other office manager HR girls. She could be the most successful person in her group, and everybody else is a factory line worker, in a completely different realm. And none of those people are making influencing buying decisions on a new contractor for lawn and snow service. Right. So it's like it matters, but it's not the make it or break it. Right. And so your image is important. Your branding is important. Your reviews are important. Your website's important. Your outbound marketing is important to get new customers. Don't rely exclusively on word of mouth. It's good. It's important. Make sure that you're doing the best you can to effectively capitalize on that marketing strategy. But then go and shift to an outbound marketing strategy that's really going to actually help you grow your business and shore up the gap of whatever those referrals are going to bring in. All that referral work should be gravy. It should be gravy in your marketing strategy moving forward. You can't rely on it because none of it's predictable. You should work on pay per clicks. Number of postcards out means number of submission forms, number of leads, number of phone calls, number of closes in the pipeline. Those are metric. That's a metric-based approach to growth versus relying on, the wind blowing and your customers talking good about your business. All right. And that person even being in the market to use the product and service in your business is my point from the factory to the HR manager analogy. Okay. So that's where I'm going to leave it with you guys today. I love the idea that word of mouth marketing is the best form of marketing, but not really. It's not really. It is one of the most tried and true ways to have your business grow organically. But I'm thinking about all the big contracts that we have. I'm thinking about all the customers that we've had over the years. We're talking 98% is from outbound marketing or from having a big net out there where people are able to find us because of Google reviews and our website, right? But a customer referring another customer, other than maybe a neighbor in a residential market or in a subdivision, it's very unlikely that you're going to get, big commercial sites or big industrial sites because of referrals exclusively, right? Exclusively, okay? So that being said, when you hear stuff out there, press it, right? Fact check it. Think about what you're hearing. Think about what you're thinking about, that kind of stuff. And just be very cautious with all the different information that's put out there on the internet. I am a truth seeker. I am a truth finder. I like to distill down. I like to think about, and I like to quantify things I hear. And this is one of those things that as you're, plowing snow at 2:00 in the morning or cutting grass on a beautiful 2:00 afternoon day, you start thinking about, well, yeah, like word of mouth marketing is like the best form of marketing. Well, and then you look at your business, customer list, and you go, well, 99% of my customers have all come from postcards, marketing, yard signs, or my website. Well, that doesn't make any freaking sense. What do I believe in? Believe in what you see. Believe in what's paying the bills. Believe in what you actually know to be true, right? As Shakespeare said, to thy own self be true. All right, guys, I love you. I appreciate you. Fire it up, man. 2025, let's go.
Thinking about joining the Link membership? Now is the time. Sign up in January and lock in the low price of just $29 a month, or $299 for the whole year. But hurry, this offer ends on February 1st. After that, the price goes up to $49 a month. Current Link members, don't worry, your price won't increase. Join the Link community today and get access to expert advice, coaching, and a supportive network of lawn care professionals. Visit lawntrepreneur.academy.com and sign up now. An easy-to-use link is in the show description.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.